In the 1960s, the world was changing, but in the hallowed halls of Buckingham Palace, fashion remained a precise and powerful language. Behind every stitch of silk and every hand-placed sequin lay a hidden strategy. Queen Elizabeth II didn't just wear gowns, she wore professional armor. From state banquets to historic weddings, her 1960s wardrobe was a masterclass in symbolism, power, and quiet transformation. Today, we peel back the layers of history to reveal the secrets behind the 10 most extraordinary gowns of her most dazzling decade. In 1961, the Queen traveled to Pakistan and Ghana. These were not mere visits, they were delicate diplomatic tightropes. In Karachi, she wore a white column gown with a hidden secret, a bold emerald green silk pleat that cascaded down the back, an intentional tribute to the Pakistani flag. Later, in Ghana, this same dress witnessed one of the most significant moments of her reign, a dance with President Nkrumah that signaled a new era of racial equality. The fabric didn't just move with her, it moved the world. Diplomacy often required a more classical kind of magic. In Italy, the Queen appeared as if she had stepped out of a Renaissance painting. Her shimmering silver-gold gown, crafted from silk chiffon and tulle, was hand-embroidered with thousands of crystals. As she moved through the grand halls of Venice, the dress caught the flickering candlelight, creating an ethereal glow that the Italian press described as breathtaking. It was a visual reminder of the enduring link between the British monarchy and the grand traditions of Europe. Not every gown was about politics, some were about family. For Princess Margaret's 1960 wedding, the Queen wore a vivid kingfisher blue ensemble. It was a masterpiece of visual harmony, designed to complement her sister without overshadowing her. Yet, this dress birthed a royal legend, the blue dress curse. History buffs note that whenever the Queen wore this specific shade of blue to a wedding, the marriage eventually faced turmoil. Whether a coincidence or a silent omen, the gown remains a fascinating piece of fashion folklore. By 1965, the art of contextual dressing reached its peak. For a banquet at the Augustusburg Palace in Germany, designer Hardy Amy studied the palace's 18th-century Rococo architecture. He created a pale green gown that mirrored the swirling motifs of the palace walls. When the Queen stood in the room, she didn't just occupy the space, she became part of the art. It remains one of the most sophisticated examples of how fashion can honor a host's history and culture. The decade neared its end with a celebration of the Commonwealth. In Canada, for the 100th anniversary of Confederation, the Queen wore a blue and white gown adorned with hand-stitched maple leaves. It was a visual love letter to the nation. This theme of continuity was a hallmark of her style. She had worn a similar leaf motif in 1957, reinforcing a sense of an enduring relationship. These gowns were more than fashion, they were a silent promise of loyalty to her people across the seas. The story of these gowns didn't end in the 1960s. In 2020, one of these original Norman Hartnell masterpieces was brought out of the archives, meticulously adapted, and worn by Princess Beatrice on her wedding day. It was a moment that bridged 60 years of history. It proved that the craftsmanship and timeless elegance of the 60s were not just relics of the past, but living legacies. True style, it seems, never fades, it simply waits for its next moment to shine.